What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to our channel. It's the Choose here from Choose to Explore, where we teach you guys how to
see the world
and save $1.
So today we have 20 airport travel tips for you. So let's just get right into it.
So tip number 1 is to bring an empty water bottle. So as you guys know, airports are super expensive for anything food and drinks. So bringing an empty water bottle and then later filling it up will save you a lot of money and keep you hydrated.
So tip number 2 is to bring some snacks.
Specifically dried snacks. Because if you bring the liquid snacks, it's probably not going to be able to go through TSA.
Now tip number 3 is to check into your flight in advance.
So usually airlines will email you 24 hours in advance in order to check in. And this allows you to save time at the airport. Less time in the airport means more time doing things that you want to do. Now tip number 4 is to download the Airline App beforehand.
And this way you'll be notified of any gate changes or flight delays ahead of time. So tip number 5 is to dress comfortably.
But in layers. And the reason why I like to go in layers is so you have less things in your suitcase and more things on your body so you can pack lighter.
Yes. Avoid those baggage fees.
And you can actually see a video on that linked in the top right or linked below in our description. So tip number 6 is to bring a portable charger.
Yes, because some airports you may not be able to reach an outlet. Also, some airlines may not even include outlets, so always come prepared with your own portable charger. So tip number 7 is to bring a travel size hand sanitizer. And this ties into tip number 8, which is to bring wipes to wipe down your seat and your tray table so you can try to be germ free.
And tip number 9 is something that I do, and that's to take the hotel toiletries. That's the shampoos, the conditioners, because they're travel sized.
So they can definitely pass through TSA.
And tip number 10 is what I do typically when I check in 24 hours in advance, and that's just to have a screenshot of my boarding pass.
And tip number 11 is pretty similar. Just bring a copy that's printed out of your boarding pass to have for just in case.
Now tip number 12, if you decide to check your bag, is to have 2 or 3 days of clothing in your carry-on, because in this day and age, people are losing their bags left and right, and you just want to be prepared just in case anything happens.
So tip number 13 is to wear comfortable shoes and socks.
Or you also could have either TSA pre-check or global entry where you don't even have to take your shoes off. But we'll get into that on a later tip.
Yes. Tip number 14 is to have a clear toiletry bag and make sure each of your liquids are less than 3.4 ounces.
Now tip number 15 is to mentally prepare for TSA. Now, it does not matter what day, what time, but TSA is always on 10.
So pretty much you're going to need to take off your shoes, take off your belts. Don't wear sandals unless you're also going to wear socks because you don't want to be barefoot in the airport.
You want to empty your pockets, you want to take off your jackets, and take out your laptop. I mean, there's a ton of different things that TSA wants you to do beforehand, but just be prepared and have it there beforehand.
Or alternatively, you could have TSA pre-check.
Tip number 16 is to invest in global entry, TSA pre-check, Clear, or the free version, which is mobile passport. So TSA pre-check is the fast line to get through TSA.
Yes, so you don't have to take off your shoes or remove your large electronics, but you just have to make sure that your boarding pass mentions that you have TSA pre-check and also check that your airline has it.
Now, TSA pre-check is $85 for 5 years, so if you fly enough, it's definitely worth it. The next one I'm going to talk about is global entry. Now, global entry is $100, but it also includes TSA pre-check for $15 more and for 5 years. If you travel outside of the country, global entry is well worth it. But global entry also includes a fast process for entering back into the United States. We recently were in Aruba, and there was about 1,000 people in line, and we skipped to maybe 10 people in front of us because we had global entry. So definitely worth it if you guys travel often, or if you guys are in trouble and ever going to miss a flight. So next up is Clear, and it's a little bit different than TSA pre-check and global entry.
So Clear actually uses your fingerprints or your eye scans instead of your typical identification documents.
And this typically gets you through a lot faster. But you can also combine Clear with TSA pre-check to really zoom through if you wanted to. However, Clear is not for 5 years. Clear is $189 per year. So if you travel enough, it could be worth the investment, but I personally have not invested in it. But I do know having an American Express Platinum card does give you a free membership, and there are other credit cards that give you some kind of benefits towards Clear. And lastly, we'll talk about Mobile Passport. Now, this is pretty much a free version of Global Entry, and you can only use this on your arrival back into the United States, and make sure that your airport has it that you're entering.
So now we're up to tip number 17, and that is to download movies on Netflix or even HBO Max on your phone.
And this is because some airlines don't have internet, some airlines don't have entertainment, and just be prepared and have it on your phone anyway.
Tip number 18 is to bring a pen.
And this is really because, especially when you're traveling internationally, you have to fill out documentation forms or COVID-19 forms or vaccination forms, customs.
All the forms.
So bring a pen because you don't want to be sharing with all the people on the plane.
Now, tip number 19 is to sit at a nearby gate. Not the gate that you're assigned to, but a nearby gate.
So you want to sit close enough that you can see your gate, but your gate is going to be packed with so many people. So just go around the corner where there's not a lot of people, where there's empty outlets, and sit there so you can have some empty space.
Or you could be in the lounge.
So with our credit card, we actually have lounge access with a priority pass and a lot of different other lounge networks. And this gives us kind of exclusive seating and usually free food and free drinks.
Maybe even a free shower too at some locations.
So definitely could be worth it.
Tip number 20 is super important, and it's to set an alarm for boarding time.
Sometimes if you're having too good of a time in the lounge, you might forget that you have a flight and you might miss your flight. So it's super important to set that alarm so you know to get back to your gate in time.
Yes, before the gates close on you, okay? So there you have it. That was our 20 airport tips.
So thank you guys so much for staying with our video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this if you guys got anything from the video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.